Hello friends, welcome to the world of project management and for a overview session on project risk management process, perform qualitative risk analysis process. Motto of this training is to share my experience in preparing for the PMP certification and I have prepared few slides. Let's quickly move to our agenda for this session that we are going to discuss on what is perform qualitative risk analysis and its ITTOs. That is in more detail we will discuss about the inputs, tools and techniques and outputs. Let's start with its definition. First, it is a third process in the project risk management knowledge area, and it is defined as perform qualitative risk analysis is a process of prioritizing the individual project risk for further analysis or action by assessing their probability of occurrence and impact as well as the other characteristics. Hope you understood this definition. And the key benefit of this process is that it focuses efforts on high priority risk. Hope you understood its definition and the key benefit of this process. We have some key points for this process. That is, it determines which risk should be further analyzed by prioritizing them. And second is the basic prioritization by probability and impact on the project objectives if the risk occurs. And the third is other factors to consider, that is time or urgency or the proximity. And also the risk tolerance per area with respect to the scope, time, cost and quality. That is, we have the examples. Cost risk may be less important than the time risk. Hope you understood some key points of this process. Hope you understood its definition and the key benefits. Let's move to its ITTOs. In inputs, we have the project management plan, which consisting of the risk management plan. And we have the project documents, contains the assumption log, risk register, and the stakeholder register. And also we have the enterprise environmental factors and the organizational process assets, that is EFs and OPS. And coming to the tools and techniques, we have the expert judgment, data gathering techniques, which includes the interviews, and we have the data analysis technique, which includes the risk data quality assessment, the risk probability and impact assessment of the other risk parameters. And also we have the technique interpersonal and team skills, which consisting of the facilitation, and we have the risk categorization, and we have the data representation techniques, that is probability and impact matrix, hierarchical charts, and last we have the meetings. And coming to the outputs, we have the project document updates only, which contains assumption log, issue log, risk registered, and the risk report. Okay, this is an overview of the inputs, tools and techniques and outputs. Let's go in more detail, starting with first inputs. In inputs, first we have the project management plan, which consisting of the risk management plan. And it includes the roles and responsibilities for conducting the risk management, budgets for the risk management, schedule activities for the risk management, risk categories, definition of the probability and impact, probability and the impact matrix, and the stakeholders risk thresholds that are tailored to the project during the plan risk management process. So all this information is included in the risk management plan. Hope you understood about this input. Let's move to the next input, the project documents, which consists of the assumption log, risk registered and the stakeholder register. Let me explain one by one, first with the assumption log. In this, the assumption log is used for identifying, managing and monitoring the key assumptions and constraints that may affect the project. Hope you understood this. Moving to the risk register. In this, the risk register contains the details of each identified individual project risk that will be assessed during this process. Moving to the next input of the project documents, that is stakeholder register. In this, it includes the details of the project stakeholders who may be nominated as the risk owners. Hope you understood this stakeholder register. So let's move to the next input. We have EFs, enterprise environmental factors. In this EFs, it may include the industry studies of the similar projects and the published material, including the commercial risk databases or the checklist. Hope you understood this input EFs. Let's move to the next input, OPS, organizational process assets. That may include the information, some similar kind of the completed projects. So they will take the reference of the completed project Okay, fine. Hope you understood about this all inputs of the qualitative risk analysis process. Let's move to the tools and techniques. In the tools and techniques, first we have the expert judgment. Let me explain what is expert judgment technique in this process. In this, expertise should be considered from the individuals or groups with some specialized knowledge or training in the previous similar projects or the qualitative risk analysis process. So these experts should be considered here. Hope you understood about this first technique of the perform qualitative risk analysis. Let's move to the next technique, data gathering techniques, which includes the interviews. In these interviews, the structured or semi-structured interviews can be used to assess the probability and impact of the individual project risk as well as the other factors. Hope you understood about this interviews technique. Let's move to the next technique. We have the data analysis technique, which consisting of the risk data quality assessment, risk probability and impact assessment, assessment of the other risk parameters. Let me explain these three of the data analysis. First with risk data quality assessment. In this, the risk data quality assessment evaluates the degree to which the data about the individual project risk is accurate and reliable as the basis for the qualitative risk analysis. Hope you understood this. Moving to the risk probability and impact assessment. In this, the risk probability assessment considers the likelihood that a specific risk will occur. Hope you understood this risk probability assessment. And also one point here, the risk impact assessment considers the potential effect on one or more project objectives such as schedule, cost, quality or performance. Hope you are clear about the risk probability and impact assessment. Moving to the last one, assessment of other risk parameters. In this, the project team may consider the other characteristics of the risk when prioritizing the individual project risk also for further analysis and action. And we have different characteristics of the risk here, such as the urgency, proximity, dormancy, manageability, controllability, detectability, connectivity, strategic impact, and propinquity. Hope you go through all this, the characteristics of risk in the PMBOK guide. Hope you understood about this data analysis technique. Let's move to the next technique. We have interpersonal and team skills, which includes the facilitation. In this, the facilitation improves the effectiveness of the qualitative analysis of all the individual project risk. Hope you understood about this facilitation, which we have discussed earlier in my previous sessions. Moving to the next technique, we have the risk categorization. What is risk categorization? In this, the risk to the project can be categorized by the sources of risk by using the RBS, resource breakdown structure, and the area of the project affected also using the WBS, that is work breakdown structure, and with some other useful categories also to determine the areas of the project that most exposed to the effects of uncertainty. Hope you understood what is risk categorization. Let's move to the next technique, that is data representation technique, which includes the probability and impact matrix and the hierarchical charts. Let me explain these two. First with the probability and impact matrix. A probability and impact matrix is a grid for mapping the probability of each risk occurrence and its impact on the project objectives if the risk occurs. And this matrix specifies the combinations of the probability and impact that allows the individual project risk to be divided into the priority groups. And one more important point, in this the risk can be prioritized for further analysis and planning of the risk responses based on their probability and impact. Hope you understood what is the probability and impact matrix. Moving to hierarchical charts. In this, where risks have been categorized using more than two parameters, the probability and impact matrix cannot be used and other graphical representations are required here. So here in this case, the hierarchical charts are used. For the hierarchical charts, we have the example, a bubble chart. For example, a bubble chart is used here where it displays the three dimensions of data. where each risk is plotted on a disk, that is bubble, and the three parameters are represented by the x axis value, y axis value, and the bubble size. Hope you understood this data representation techniques. Let's move to the next technique. We have meetings. To undertake this qualitative risk analysis, the project team may conduct specialized meetings, often called as risk workshops, which I have explained in the identify risk process, which is dedicated to the discussion of the identified individual project risk. Hope you understood about this technique meetings also. So we have covered all the inputs, tools and techniques of this process. So let's move to its output. We have only one output in this, the project document updates, which contains assumption log, issue log, risk registered, and the risk report. Let me explain one by one. First with assumption log. During the perform qualitative risk analysis process, new assumptions may be made, new constraints may be identified, and the existing assumptions or constraints may be revisited and changed. This assumption log should be updated with the new information. The main theme of this that assumption log output is that it should be updated with the new information. Hope you understood this. Moving to the issue log. The issue log should be updated to capture any new issues uncovered or changes in current logged issues. Hope you understood this. Coming to risk registered. The risk registered is updated here with the new information generated during this process, such as assessment of the probability and impacts for each individual project risk, its priority level or risk score, or the nominated risk owner, or the risk urgency information or the risk categorization, and a watch list for low priority risk. This all information is logged here. Moving to the last risk report. This output, the risk report, is updated to reflect the most important individual project risk, usually those with the highest probability and impact, and as well as a prioritized list of the identified risk on the project and with a summary conclusion. Okay, hope you understood about this output, the project document updates. So we have covered the outputs of this perform qualitative risk analysis also. So we have completed the total all the ITTOs, that is the inputs, tools and techniques of this process. In this process, we have to remember few key points in this perform qualitative risk analysis. That is, we have to take care about first the update the project documents, most likely the risk registered. We have to take care of the prioritization of the risk by probability and impact, and we have to take care of likelihood of risk occurring. We have to take care of the probability and impact matrix, and last we have to take care of the watch list of low priority risk. So all these important key points which need to be take care in this process. So this completes our third session on the project risk management knowledge area. Hope this complete session is easy and understandable. Fine, let's discuss more detail on the next process in the project risk management knowledge area, that is perform quantitative risk analysis, in the next video. Kindly provide your feedback on the given email ID below and subscribe my channel if you like this video and share with your friends. Bye for now. It's your Anil Kumar Dharam.